Picture this, it's 31st of December, the year is winding down and you're reflecting on how it went by. But instead of feeling satisfied, there's this nagging thought that everyone else around you seems to be richer and happier than you are. They're traveling to exotic destinations, dining at fancy restaurants, celebrating milestones in their careers and even personal lives. Maybe even their celebrations from the end of the year on the 31st were much grander than yours. And seeing people around you having it all figured out only makes you feel worse. Maybe you had goals that you did not hit, things that you wanted but could not afford, or moments where you just felt stuck. Trust me, you are not alone. I've been there too. And let me tell you something, it is not your fault. You see, this feeling of inadequacy, this idea that everyone else is ahead of you, it's a trap. It's a mindset trap, and if you don't address it, it can bleed into every aspect of your life, even your relationship with money. In today's world, it almost seems like everyone else around you is happier than you and richer than you. But that is not true, and that's what we are diving into today. I'm going to uncover why it feels like others are ahead of you, what really is going on behind the scenes, and 5 reasons why you are not behind. Hello everyone, I'm IRDAI and I've been licensed in Indian financial services since 2015, and so far I've helped over 1,500 families make better financial decisions. And here on my YouTube channel, I talk about all things money and personal development. If you want to dive even deeper, I'm hosting an exclusive personal finance masterclass on Sunday, 25th January from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is your chance to get 8 proprietary personal finance calculators that I actually use while working with clients, along with learning how you can use mutual funds for your long-term goals like retirement, where to exactly invest for your short-term goals like going for a vacation or buying something that you've been eyeing, including names of funds and how to select them. I'll also be sharing insights on term insurance and health insurance, which also includes how you can get a 1 crore health insurance plan by paying only 10% of the price. A lot more to share. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited also to see all of you there. The spots are limited, so grab your seat through the link in the description and the pinned comment. First up, in today's world, everything feels so in your face. You open LinkedIn and you're hit with posts about promotions, new educational achievements, and even career victories. And if you hop over to Instagram, it's pictures of people traveling, partying, or enjoying fancy dinners. But here's the thing that you know, but it needs to be said out loud even then. Nobody posts about their struggles. I mean, when was the last time you shared a story about a rejection, a fight with a loved one, or just feeling plain anxious? The chances are never, and that's what exactly everyone else is doing too. And I think our generation, right, or people specifically under the age of 35 to 40 have faced a challenge that no other generation previously has. And that is the impact of having large social circles connected virtually. So 15 years ago, you maybe had about 20 to 30 people in your immediate circle. These are your friends, acquaintances, neighbors, or colleagues. And you're in direct contact with them. You would have some idea about what's happening in their life, to some extent at least. But even in that case, you would not know about most of their lives real time. But today, you're comparing yourself to 500, 1,000 or even more people because of social media almost real time. And here's what it does. Statistically, someone in that large group is bound to be having a good day, week, or month that they're talking about on social media. And because you're exposed to the curated happy highlights of 20 to 25 people, it feels like everyone is doing better than you all the time. But what's the reality? The same people have struggles, they have anxieties, they have challenges that just don't make it to your feed. And what you don't realize is that these are 20 different people having their happy moments, not one person living a perfect life every single day. Well, chances are that the next weekend, those same people will be scrolling through their feeds, looking at your photos, feeling like you are having the time of your life. And I've personally noticed that when I'm having a particularly bad day or I'm feeling anxious, I tend to pick up my phone more and consume more content. This in turn, instead of making me feel good, which I think it would, makes me feel worse. And if you're not even comparing at that point, which is something that I have gotten relatively good at over the past few years, just passively consuming information is never a good idea, especially on bad days. And there's even science behind that statement. Because back in the day, when man was a hunter-gatherer, think about how humans reacted to stress. First up, at that stage, what was the biggest kind of danger in life? Being hunted down and killed by wild animals. So at that stage, when we faced extreme stress like that, our reaction was to get away from those animals or even dangers related to natural disasters. That actually involved physical movement because we had to actually run away from danger. But today, when we feel stress of any kind, we do the exact opposite, which is lying down and use more of a phone to put away the distraction. So not only do you compare your life to someone else's and feel more anxious, but you also put yourself in the worst possible situation to feel better. And this seemingly small act has wide ramifications because it makes the already tricky comparison trap even bigger. The thing is though, comparisons don't stop at social media, which brings me to the second reason why you're not actually behind. Comparisons extend into the real world too, where the things people buy, like houses, cars or gadgets, become symbols of success. We attach meaning to the things that people buy that makes us think that they're doing really well in life. So when anyone buys anything expensive, be it branded clothes, the latest iPhone, or even go on exotic vacations, it signals to the outside world that this person has money and that they have discretionary income, that is extra income, to be able to pay for all these things. And that's also true when someone buys a luxury car or a house. It's a signal once again to the world that you can afford these things while still living your day-to-day life. But here's the thing, and this is something that I've learned after actively working with people on their finances, a lot of these signals are just illusions. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck, stretching themselves thin to maintain their appearance. They may earn a lot of money, but their savings rate is painfully low because almost all of their income goes towards funding their lifestyle. And this is not just anecdotal. Studies back this up. For example, a survey by Max Life found that 50% of Indians haven't started planning for retirement at all. Let that sink in. What's even more surprising, 1 out of 4 Indians took out a personal loan just to pay for a vacation. And personal loans today alone make up almost 1/3 of total bank credit lent out in India in 2024. This means that things aren't always as they seem. A lot of people are spending money that they do not have. So the next time you feel like you're falling behind in life, take a moment to pause and think. If you are more intentional with your spending, you are focusing on building a solid foundation for your finances or even working through hardships to create a better life and a future, you're already ahead in ways that actually matter. Don't fall into the trap of trying to keep up with the people who are recklessly spending without a second thought. This brings me to the third reason why you're not actually falling behind. It stems from how society perceives wealth and success. Material possessions, like say a house, become markers of achievement, and that's where comparisons start. Think about it, when someone buys a house, they are congratulated. People naturally start making mental estimates. The size of the house, the location, the interiors, all of it gives them an idea of how much money was spent in the process. The assumption is simple. This person must be doing well in life. And not just financially, because many people equate financial success with overall happiness in life, and that's an entirely different topic which I will address in the future. But these conversations often come up in social settings like get-togethers, parties, or even casual chats with friends and even acquaintances. It is completely acceptable to share that you've bought a new house, to share where it's located, how much effort went into decorating it, and so on. But now imagine the same conversation in a slightly different context. Let's say you're sitting in a social setting and instead of saying you've bought a new house, you tell people you've built a mutual fund and a stock portfolio of between 1.5 to 2 crores. Chances are the reaction won't be the same. In fact, most people will find it absolutely odd that you're talking about money in such a way and will think that you're bragging. Why is that? Because sharing the value of your portfolio publicly is seen as taboo, even though it's just another measure of financial success. On the other hand though, buying a house or a car or even talking about an expensive vacation is socially completely acceptable, and not just that, but is celebrated. These material possessions have become the approved signals of wealth and status. This creates a completely distorted view of what it means to do well in life. The focus shifts to visible, tangible displays of wealth like a house or a car, while invisible, intangible assets like investments or savings go unnoticed. And the irony is, the person fronting the house may be under immense financial stress paying off that loan, while the person quietly building a solid investment portfolio is far, far more secure. In fact, I know a guy who got married last year, and unfortunately, he wasn't really as well received and respected by his wife's family. But within a year, him and his wife bought a house, and suddenly, his wife's family's respect for him went up multiple notches. Nothing else had changed except for the purchase of that house. It's at times very strange how status signaling can work. It's important to recognize this social bias and remind yourself that wealth isn't just about what you can show off, but it's about building a foundation that supports your long-term goals. And as you're working hard to change your life, to build a dream you have been envisioning, there's a phase that no one really talks about, which brings me to reason number 4 why others around you seem to be doing better than you are. It's a phase where the life you once lived and the world you built no longer feel like home. You look around and suddenly the people you used to connect with, you absolutely don't relate to how they spend their time, the conversations that they have, and just how they go on about their life. None of it makes sense to you anymore. You, on the other hand, are working long hours, staying focused on your goals, but it feels like you're drifting away from the people who were once your people. And this phase can feel lonely, very lonely. I've been there. And it's confusing as well because it's the first time we're experiencing something like this. But let me tell you something. Every single person who has transformed their life, every person who has elevated themselves to the next level has gone through this. It's not just you and it's not permanent. Here's what happens. As you grow and evolve, you'll find your new tribe, a group of people who are on the same journey as you are. These are the people who push you to think bigger, who challenge you to dream larger, who encourage you to keep moving forward even when it feels hard. And unlike before, these aren't people who hold you back or make you doubt yourself. They'll inspire you in ways you did not even know was possible. But remember that in-between phase, where you're yet to elevate yourself to that next level where these new people are attracted to your life and you have alienated your previous group of people, that phase, that in-between phase is tough. It's filled with anxiety, tension and confusion because you're now in uncharted territory. You're in the middle of outgrowing your older self while working towards your future self. And that is okay. It's a part of the process, part of leveling up. When you reach that next level, when you find your tribe, it will absolutely all make sense. And you look back at this lonely phase and realize it was only preparing you, building your resilience, and sharpening your focus. So if you're in that phase right now, remember to embrace it. It's not a setback, it's a setup. You're not falling behind, you're leveling up. So keep going because your future self and your future tribe are waiting for you. And I finally come to reason number 5. You are defining success on your terms, not somebody else's. Here's the thing about feeling behind in life. It's often because we are unknowingly playing by someone else's rules. Society, friends, family, and even Instagram, all of them have their own definitions of what it means to make it. A high-paying job, a fancy house, and international vacations, they are the default milestones of success that most people aspire to. But are they really your milestones? If they are, that's great, but you should know what success means to you. A lot of times we see people post about their wins on social media and it may seem like you're not doing much, but deep down, do you really want to be doing all those things that others are up to? The truth is, success is not a one-size-fits-all. What truly matters is aligning your goals with what makes you feel fulfilled. Maybe you're not jet-setting across the globe or buying the latest iPhone, but you're working on skills that make you proud. You're investing in meaningful relationships or you're building something that aligns with your long-term vision. And here's the kicker. The most satisfied people aren't chasing someone else's idea of success. They've figured out what matters to them and have focused their energy there. You might feel like you're falling behind because you're not following the crowd, but that's actually your greatest strength. You're carving your own path, a path that leads to a life you genuinely want and not just looks great from the outside. I'll share my personal story here. In college, I chose to study liberal arts and major in economics. A very odd choice at the time, in fact, even now. Then I wanted to be a thriller novelist as I was growing up and wrote my first thriller novel before I turned 18, and then 2 more that weren't published before eventually writing 4 and publishing 4 more before I turned 25. And I didn't really succeed in terms of money terms until much later, and even then it wasn't a very high amount. Then in college I used to study different aspects of the world of finance which weren't even a part of the curriculum, and to do that I had to say no to a lot of classmates and activities that they were planning in college. I'll be honest, I felt like an oddball, but I just had so much fun doing what I was doing. And when I look back now, the dots seem to connect. And that's exactly how it happens, right? As per the incredible Steve Jobs speech. These different skill sets that I acquired since I was 13 suddenly now make sense. Storytelling and a passion for money and finance helped me while working with clients and also in making these videos. So that phase of defining success for yourself can feel uncomfortable. True success isn't about how others perceive you, it's about how aligned your life feels with what you value. And that's a game few people have the courage to play. So while others are chasing external validation, you are creating a life that resonates with you, that's not falling behind, that's playing a completely different game and winning it. If you enjoyed this video, then check this one out where I talk about systematic withdrawal plans, a way for you to generate regular income from your mutual funds, and I'll catch you in the next one.